If music changes the brain, what does that mean for education? Can musical training help children improve in other skills?
There's been a kind of practical side of music research, trying to figure out if music can make you smarter. The emerging evidence from carefully controlled studies is that learning to play an instrument, not just passively listening, but learning to play an instrument early on, can actually confer some cognitive advantages.
There are skills that are closely related to musical training that musicians might outperform non-musicians. Certainly motor skills and auditory skills. What has been a debate about is whether or not there are other skills that might be enhanced through musical training as well, such as visual spatial skills, verbal or vocabulary skills, or math skills.
He's confirmed that children around 10 years old who've had musical training did improve in those other skills.
Okay.
So there was an effect in their vocabulary skills, and there was an effect in a visual test.
Look carefully.
And a recent study in Germany shows that music training seems to help children learn verbal language, even beyond vocabulary skills. Members of the famous St. Thomas Boys Choir in Leipzig were subjects for the study.
The boys in the boys' choir, they are a very, very good example of a high amount of musical training. We wanted to investigate if musical training also improves the processing of linguistic syntax. And this is the quite new and the most important issue.
Syntax is the structure of language, the grammar.
Kannst du hier vorne mal festhalten, bitte?
We had 2 sessions. In one session we did a music experiment. In the second session we did a language experiment.
Das Gedicht wurde gelernt.
We compared the EEG responses of the children with musical training and the children without musical training. And we found out that children with musical training had an improved processing of musical and of linguistic syntax compared to children without musical training. It shows that it is important, or it can be important to learn a musical instrument, because it does not train only the perception of music, but also train processes in other cognitive domains.
We're talking about a very particular type of training that leads to being smarter in certain things. Musical training, and probably other kinds of training as well, have repercussions on brain anatomy. Until a few years ago, no one really had an inkling that this was going on.
Of course, the voice is also a musical instrument. And the key is not just listening to music, but doing it.